The CEO of United Airlines trying to reassure customers after recent safety issues, and tonight a new problem to tell you about in San Francisco. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. A United flight taxiing on the runway today was forced to return to the gate. Here's a live look at SFO, where that flight bound for Osaka, Japan, was delayed for nearly 5 hours because of a mechanical issue. United has not offered more specifics. We do know this was the latest in a series of problems with United flights here in the West. Last week, a flight landed safely in Medford, Oregon, with a missing exterior panel. And earlier this month, a flight from San Francisco to Mexico City made an emergency landing in Los Angeles because of a hydraulics issue. A day before, a tire fell off a plane shortly after takeoff from SFO. No one was hurt there. United CEO addressed safety in a letter that was sent to customers today. He said, unfortunately, in the past few weeks, our airline has experienced a number of incidents that are reminders of the importance of safety. While they are all unrelated, I want you to know that these incidents have our attention and have sharpened our focus. Now, the airline is planning an extra day of in-person training for all of its pilots starting in May. Some of those recent problems on United flights have involved planes made by Boeing. As Fox 13's Nia Wong explains tonight, a criminal investigation is now expanding into the Seattle-based plane manufacturer.
The U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Washington has sent subpoenas to Boeing and Spirit AeroSystems Holdings and is using a grand jury to get more information, according to Bloomberg News.
If the grand jury is looking into your conduct, you're likely in trouble.
Mark Lindquist now represents 26 victims from Alaska Airlines Flight 1282, including
a couple with an infant baby, a mother with her 13-year-old daughter, and an unaccompanied minor. Almost all of them, when they hear more news about Boeing's negligence or misconduct, are further traumatized by this.
The Tacoma-based aviation and personal injury attorney says none of his clients have been subpoenaed so far, but he's familiar with a piece of Boeing's past that may be coming back to haunt the aviation company.
One of the conditions is basically you can't get busted doing the same thing again.
Lindquist is talking about a 2021 deferred prosecution agreement after two of Boeing's 737 MAX jetliners led to deadly crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia.
Many felt that Boeing got off the hook much too easy.
Now that the DOJ is circling back with Boeing.
Number one, the Department of Justice could find Boeing is in violation of their conditions of their prior deferred prosecution. And number two, the Department of Justice could start an entirely new criminal prosecution of Boeing.
We've reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office and Boeing for comment, and as soon as we hear back, we'll update you on air and online at fox13seattle.com. In the newsroom, Nia Wong, Fox 13 News.
Also tonight, Alaska Airlines crews are working to figure out what cracked a plane's windshield in Oregon. The inner layer of several windscreens cracked last night as that plane was landing in Portland. The airline put out a statement on that issue saying the plane is outfitted with 5-layer windscreens that have an outer pane, 3 inner layers, and an inner pane. If an inner pane cracks, the other pane and layers can maintain cabin pressure. Again, that aircraft landed safely in Portland and will be inspected and repaired by Alaska Airlines engineers. An Afghan refugee was found guilty today in one of 3 fatal ambush-style shootings in Albuquerque. Jurors found Mohammed Syed guilty of first-degree murder. Mohammed was charged with killing Aftab Hussein in 2022. Prosecutors did not address a possible motive for the killing. Syed is facing life without parole. His attorneys are planning to appeal that charge after he stands trial for the other 2 killings. All of the shootings happened back in the summer of 2022. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs says Congress needs to take immediate action to avoid escalating a crisis along the state's southern border with Mexico. The governor is worried shelters and other services assisting migrants will need to shut down by the end of this month. Fox 10's Lindsay Regas reports tonight the governor wants Congress to spend another $750 million to keep them running.
I hope that Washington just listens to what we here in the border need. Sometimes we're forgotten. You hear about San Diego, you hear about Tucson, you hear about Eagle Pass, but they forget about that here in Yuma, we face this every day.
In Yuma, nonprofits like the Center for Border Health have played a big part in processing migrants.
I'm meeting with Secretary Mayorkas, and we talked about the exact same thing as we're coming upon March 22nd with the kind of the end of the federal funding. Without a continuing resolution or an approved budget, it could cause dramatic issues with our nonprofits.
For us and the Border Patrol to be able to process the people coming through there in a timely manner, these funds would help greatly.
Yuma Mayor Douglas Nichols says border crossings are low compared to the last 3 years. However, the numbers are still 10 to 20 times higher than what they consider normal. Over in Cochise County, Ann English, who is on the Board of Supervisors, says migrants are being bussed in and dropped off.
That's the problem that we're trying to solve, is to find ways to keep the Border Patrol from bringing people here and then dropping them off, because the money is drying up in Pima County, and they have been our saviors on this.
These city and county leaders say this funding is crucial for the upcoming fiscal year.
We really expect Governor Hobbs to be our advocate, because we have very little standing with the federal government.
In a letter to Governor Hobbs, also it urged lawmakers to reconsider passing a recent bipartisan border security bill. That is one that Republicans blocked. President Biden is planning to visit Arizona and Nevada tomorrow. He will start his West Coast swing with a campaign stop in Reno. After that, he'll make stops in Las Vegas and Phoenix. He'll arrive in Phoenix just as voters across Arizona take part in that state's presidential primary election. According to The Hill, the president is expected to stay the night in Phoenix and then deliver a speech there on Wednesday. After that, he is expected to head to Dallas and Houston for campaign events. Some of the world's greatest scientists and engineers are all converging in San Jose, California for Nvidia's conference. The chipmaker's skyrocketing performance on Wall Street is being driven by its gains in artificial intelligence. KTVU reporter Jesse Gary has more tonight on what Nvidia's momentum means for Silicon Valley and the tech industry overall.
On the San Jose State campus, sophomore Pablo Nava Barrera eyes the latest lesson plan Monday on how to make a killing in the market.
I opened a brokerage account, and I did it primarily because I wanted to invest in Nvidia.
This week, the AI software giant holds its annual conference in San Jose. Founder Jensen Huang says $1 trillion of the world's wealth will be on hand.
No conference in the world is there a greater assembly of researchers from such diverse fields of science.
That mix has Nvidia muscling out March Madness mascots to become the darling of Wall Street. Its stock is up 260% in the last year.
Its main product, which was very high quality, can now be used for AI, which everybody talks about.
I am a helper, guiding the
From
blind
human interface to cars and phones, other tech companies are relying on Nvidia, which drives the company to higher plateaus.
Unlike most companies, they're going at it from all sides. They've got the hardware and the software and the cloud service infrastructures. So they're very well positioned to capitalize on this growing, and I would have to say, exciting trend.
Because Nvidia is doing so well, it drags the tide up, since the tide is always an average.
And that rising tide has scientists and capitalists coming together to reap the benefits of a world where technology and AI will play an increasingly larger role.
I even helped write the script.
I wanted to be able to invest and put some of my own personal money into the company, because I believe in all the work that they're doing, and I think it has a lot of potential for the future.
Speaking of the future, Pablo is set to do an internship with Nvidia this summer. The conference here in downtown San Jose continues through Thursday. In downtown San Jose, Jesse Gary, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, 3 Las Vegas police officers honored for their heroism. We'll show you what they did to rescue a woman trapped inside a burning building. Also, a bacterial infection changes the life of an Arizona girl forever. After several amputations, her fight to get healthy is still not over. Tonight, we'll hear from her family about this terrifying ordeal.
And as the sun sets on the final full day of winter, I am tracking spring showers for parts of the west. I'll have a look at what we can expect coming up.
Hey, the dumpster! Grab the dumpster!
Months after this daring rescue that was caught on body camera video, 3 Las Vegas police officers are being honored for their actions. The officers' body cameras captured the moment they rescued a woman trapped inside a burning building. This happened back in December as officers Marcelino, Manzanito, and Silva were finishing up their shifts. They spotted that fire. They moved a dumpster closer to the building, and then one of the officers climbed onto the dumpster to help rescue the woman who was inside. The Clark County Fire Department has honored all 3 of those officers with a Citizen Heroism Award. In Southern California, a man was carried to safety by helicopter after falling from a steep cliff. This happened yesterday in Trabuco Canyon in Orange County. Authorities say he was trying to rescue his bird after it escaped. Witnesses called for help after the man fell 12 feet down that cliff. He was successfully rescued by those crews and brought to a safe location with his bird tucked under his shirt. An Arizona second grader is fighting for her life. Doctors have diagnosed the girl with Group A streptococcus. Over the last couple of weeks, that bacterial infection has forced her to undergo several amputations. Fox 10's Kenzie Beach spoke with her family about how they're coping.
Victoria Paston Morales is just 7 years old. We spoke with her parents today. They speak primarily Spanish and they are just heartbroken. Their little girl has had 8 surgeries so far and there's still a long road ahead of her.
Victor Paston and Obdulia Morales are the proud parents of 4 children. On February 29th, their lives unexpectedly changed forever.
Everything happened very fast. It occurred very fast. We don't know where it came from, but it all happened in less than 12 hours.
What all started with a fever and pain, followed by vomiting, quickly escalated.
Her lips and hands started turning blue.
Victoria was admitted to Phoenix Children's Hospital and diagnosed with Streptococcus Group A. Now, over the course of 2 weeks, she's had 8 surgeries.
Unfortunately, they had to amputate both feet and her right hand. Her left hand is still recovering.
Bacteria continues to take over her body.
Not even the doctors can tell us how she got this bacteria.
The bacteria has affected her lungs and kidneys. She's awake but on a ventilator.
It's not going to be easy for her. It's going to be hard, but she's strong. She's a warrior.
They say their affectionate, loving, and playful daughter's eyes light up when they walk in the room. And after what she's been through the last 2 weeks, she continues to blow kisses.
Diseases come unexpected. From morning to night, everything can change in just 1 second.
A GoFundMe has been set up for the family so that the parents can be by Victoria's side day to day as this bacteria continues to take over her body. In Phoenix, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
And starting with a look here at the Pacific Northwest, Seattle this afternoon, blue skies, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s across areas of Washington. A little bit of a twist here as the Pacific Northwest dry today. Meanwhile, the Southwest, including areas over Los Angeles and areas over Arizona, had a mix of scattered showers, even though Los Angeles came in at 75 this afternoon. We will continue with this pattern for Tuesday. Here's a look at the Pacific satellite view and radar, and there's that high pressure parked over areas of Oregon. Meanwhile, low pressure continues to be parked right over Southern California and Arizona, continuing that possibility of scattered showers, not only for areas of Arizona, but it looks like New Mexico as well. Tomorrow, we will have 60s into the afternoon from the areas over Washington, Oregon, into the Bay Area, and down towards Southern California and into Arizona, despite the fact that we have scattered showers, even some high elevation snow expected. Temperatures will range in the 70s for many in that area. Meanwhile, our Intermountain West will be in the 60s. Tomorrow is a transition day. Tomorrow we have the final hours of winter and the first few hours of spring as the vernal equinox arrives in the Pacific at 8:06 p.m. And that means we will see 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night, as the sun will be passing right over the equator, moving from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. Here's a look at what we were expecting, as well as in the way of some scatter shower activity. You can see especially over the Four Corners, including areas of Arizona, New Mexico, into Colorado, some high elevation snow. Areas over Flagstaff may actually see a little bit of rain snow mix. California, the Pacific Northwest will remain dry Northern California and into the Pacific Northwest. Dry for tomorrow, but spring showers are in the forecast. Not so much for Wednesday. This is expected to remain pretty much offshore, but as we get into Thursday, the Pacific Northwest will begin to see a return to some wet weather there. And then in time for the weekend, California likely to see rainfall all the way down into Southern California. And the Bay Area could pick up an inch to an inch and a half of rainfall in the first weekend of spring. Meanwhile, the greater Lake Tahoe area in the Sierra is expected to get anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow. So even though we are entering a spring, officially, it's still going to feel a little bit like winter there for some time. Temperatures tomorrow morning ranging from about 19 degrees in Denver, Colorado, to low 50s over areas of Southern California, Los Angeles, as well as San Francisco. And then as we get into the 3-day outlook for you here, again, just a beautiful one tomorrow for many areas, even though calling for scattered showers over the desert Southwest and Southern California. Temperatures will range in the 70s there, even looking at 80s for Phoenix by Thursday. Intermountain West enjoying 60s as we take our eyes towards the Pacific Northwest. Notice the icon here, rain developing on Thursday for areas over Seattle, and temperatures are expected to take a 10-degree drop. Meanwhile, for the Bay Area, it will stay dry through Thursday. Those rain showers begin to develop on Friday. Alex?
Okay, Rosemary, thank you. Crews helped to rescue an injured hiker on Oregon's Mount Hood over the weekend. A woman was descending the popular south side of the mountain on Saturday when she was struck by falling ice and she went down. Her injuries left her unable to move. Rescue crews moved in with some special equipment to get her to safety. That rescue operation lasted for several hours. Hawaii's Attorney General is blaming county agencies for delaying the release of a key report on the deadly Maui wildfires. That delay has forced investigators to issue subpoenas. The first phase of an independent investigation into the fire that killed at least 100 people and destroyed much of Lahaina was expected to be released this month, but instead it is going to be released now on April 17th. Social media giant Meta is reportedly under investigation tonight. Federal prosecutors looking at whether the company is assisting and making money from illegal drug sales on Facebook and Instagram. Fox's Kelly O'Grady has the latest tonight on this investigation.
Meta is reportedly under investigation for its role in the illicit sale of drugs. The concern being the company may be facilitating and profiting from the alleged activity on its platforms like Instagram and Facebook. The Wall Street Journal reporting U.S. prosecutors in Virginia have been sending subpoenas as part of a criminal grand jury probe, which is in partnership with the FDA. In response, the big tech giant revealed it's working with the State Department to crack down on this activity, telling Fox Business, quote, "The sale of illicit drugs is against our policies, and we work to find and remove this content from our services. Meta proactively cooperates with law enforcement authorities to help combat the sale and distribution of illicit drugs." But broader questions are being raised about whether Meta and other companies should be responsible for the content sellers and users post. That scrutiny is translating into legal action. 41 states plus D.C. are suing Meta over allegations regarding child safety. In other big tech news, former President Donald Trump is once again warning lawmakers against banning TikTok. Trump told Fox News banning the app only benefits Facebook, which he says is also influenced by China.
I think China controls Facebook also because they have tremendous power in that company. There's no question about that. They want to be in China.
In 2020, Trump committed to signing an executive order to ban the app, but 2 federal judges blocked any attempt. The former president also says banning TikTok is a problem because of freedom of speech issues. In New York, Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business.
And a lot of money is up for grabs in lottery drawings being held both tonight and tomorrow. The Powerball jackpot for tonight's drawing is now up to $600 million. And for tomorrow night's Mega Millions drawing, the jackpot is a whopping $875 million. Tickets for both of those games are sold in all West Coast states, with the exception of Utah, Nevada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Best of luck. Up next, here on West Coast Wrap, a man who is going blind has come up with a bucket list of things to do before he loses his sight. Tonight, the one thing on that list that will bring him to Las Vegas. Also, how Swifties shook the earth during a recent California concert. In Arizona, an 8-year-old Girl Scout helped to deliver 1,900 boxes of cookies to needy families. A group of small businesses made the donation. Organizers say they do this every year, and each time it just keeps getting bigger.
We're the beneficiaries of a very generous community, and this is just one example. The Executive Association of Greater Phoenix, 20 small business owners that pooled their money together to give to the Girl Scouts of America to purchase these cookies so that we can deliver them to those in need is an example of what happens here all the time and how we are able to feed, clothe, house, and heal the citizens of Maricopa County, Central and Northern Arizona.
St. Vincent de Paul serves thousands of people every single day. Doctors in Oregon are trying to help with the rising number of children being diagnosed with nearsightedness. Researchers at Oregon Health and Science University say a big reason this is happening is because more children are spending more time indoors in front of screens. The university has launched a program to help kids get prescription glasses and special contacts designed to slow the progression of nearsightedness. One of those patients is 10-year-old Melody Redfield.
It was pretty frustrating. Definitely during the whiteboard, like when they were showing math problems at school, I had to get out of my chair and walk up to see.
Doctors say right now about a third of the world's population is nearsighted, but they do expect that to increase to half the population by the year 2050. A Texas man who's losing his vision has made a list of sights he wants to see across the country before he loses his sight. First on that list for Jared Day was watching his wife walk down the aisle. Back in this July, he'll travel back to his hometown of Las Vegas to experience throwing out a first pitch at a Las Vegas Aviators game. He's hoping to inspire people to avoid putting off reaching their goals.
I want everybody to know that you don't have to be sick. You don't have to be going through something or be told you have only 6 months left of vision to accomplish whatever you want to do. Whether it's skydive or open up a business or run a marathon, you don't want to be on your final days kind of going, I wish I would have done that.
It's a detached retina that started Day's vision problems back in 2020. At that time, doctors thought he would lose his vision in 6 months. He can still see a little bit out of his right eye. And finally, tonight, Swifties prove they are somewhat of a force of nature. Caltech researchers say the dancing and jumping of all those Taylor Swift fans at SoFi Stadium in Southern California last year actually produced a small earthquake. What are called concert tremors are usually caused by musical beats and reverberations of the sound systems at those stadiums. In this case, researchers found that it was the movement of the 70,000 plus people who were in attendance for that Taylor Swift Eras Tour show. They certainly made their voices heard and felt. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. You can stay up to date on all the stories we are covering at our website, westcoastwrap.com. Have a great night. See you back here tomorrow.